yesterday, ESPN, and I'm sure many of you guys have seen this, ESPN had put out a list yesterday of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL as ranked on by scouts, coaches, and executives. It's actually a really good list. Let me list you out the 10. So before I even read it, it's nice to know that in any order, we have Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, Allen. Put it in any order you want. For me, it'd probably be Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar. It's so interesting. You know, on the Cardinal Squad show, we have an offensive lineman who does the show with us that we're doing on Locked On Cardinals Tuesdays and Thursdays, which I definitely should have told you guys about, but that's something that we're also doing. You know, he had mentioned just how good Joe Burrow is, and it has really skewed my thought process of Joe Burrow because someone who's played with him. But it's Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. That's your top four. Let's not argue about it. You can put it in any order you want, but I think for the most part, that is the correct order. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar. Jaden Daniels is number 5. I mean, that just feels, it does feel a little high for a guy that, yes, he was awesome last year, but still feels like, it feels like we're pushing the button a little too fast for a top 5 guy. 6, Stafford, who I think should probably be 5. 7, this is the guy we're going to get to in just a second. Justin Herbert, whose highest ranking was 3, and his lowest ranking was unranked. Jared Goff was at 8. Jalen Hurts was at 9. Baker Mayfield is at 10. And Jordan Love and CJ Stroud were honorable mentions. So it's no surprise Kyler Murray wasn't on this list. There should be no surprise that Kyler Murray wasn't on this list. However, it is really interesting to see how Kyler Murray is judged and other quarterbacks aren't. This isn't just a Kyler Murray special. He's not the only one that is judged harshly, but it does feel like Kyler Murray is uniquely judged in the NFL quarterback landscape. Because Kyler, when you look at him, again, hasn't won a playoff game, but he has been to the playoffs. He has been an MVP candidate for a 11-week stretch in the 2021 regular season. And he's superbly talented. He's one of the best runners in the NFL, incredibly agile, throws the ball with incredible touch with the deep pass. Like, when people try to tell me I'm anti-Kyler Murray, it's just nuts, man. I say this all the time, but I'm going to keep on saying it till I'm blue in the face. Kyler Murray, if he is good, my life gets better. Way better. I'm not rooting for Kyler Murray to not succeed. Now, I am skeptical about Kyler Murray's success this year because of the fact that, guys, my guy Michael in the chat makes a good point. It's been 6 years, no playoff wins. At some point, he does need to actually win a playoff game, make some noise in the playoffs. But there is some real, like, legitimate excuses why Kyler Murray hasn't got there. I understand Cliff Kingsbury is potentially a good offensive coordinator with the Commanders. Once again, I'm not going to give Cliff all the success for Jaden Daniels. The dude did win a Heisman in college, but Cliff Kingsbury was an abysmal head coach. He was abysmal. He's never had a very good defense. This year, he might have that. It's third year of Jonathan Gannon. To be completely fair, Jonathan Gannon, in his third year, is expected to be a quote-unquote playoff team, right? A fringe playoff team. So if this was Kyler's first coach, you'd say, okay, well, third year, let's see what you can do. But because of all the other issues in the past, you do have to give Kyler Murray a little bit of a break. But it is interesting to see how much harshly he's judged. Let's just take Justin Herbert, for example. In the ESPN top 10 quarterbacks, ranked by scouts, executives, and coaches, Justin Herbert peaked at the number Justin Herbert peaked at the number 3 ranking, but eventually falling at the 7th best quarterback in the NFL. What if we just stacked up Kyler Murray and Justin Herbert's careers? Neither guy has a playoff win. In fact, I'd argue Kyler Murray's playoff loss was more excusable than Justin Herbert's playoff loss. Justin Herbert lost to Trevor Lawrence. He blew a 27-7 lead, if I'm not mistaken. A massive lead evaporated by Trevor Lawrence, who half of the NFL is just out on. Kyler Murray lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford. Like, no loss is a good thing. However, it's not like Kyler was lost to Trevor Lawrence and blew a big lead. Justin Herbert and Kyler Murray have both accomplished the same amount in the NFL, squat. And one guy, because he's 6'5", peaks at number 3 on the ESPN top 10 list and eventually lands at number 7, ahead of guys like Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, all who have more playoff wins or have a Super Bowl MVP to their name. It's astonishing the way we favor players like Justin Herbert and not fawn over someone like Kyler Murray. Kyler does have all the tangibles. Throws a great deep ball. He's more athletic than Justin Herbert. He's faster than Justin Herbert. He's more agile than Herbert. He's accurate. But because he's 5'10", we're just like, yep, we're done. Both guys have had subpar head coaches to start their career. Cliff Kingsbury, Brandon Staley. Both guys went to the playoffs and firmly embarrassed themselves, either by blowing a massive lead or getting blown out. It's just interesting to see how much differently that we judge these two guys. There is no argument that you can make, none, zero, that Justin Herbert is a better quarterback than Kyler Murray, and then it be based off fact. It would just be an opinion. And the opinion would be, well, one is 6'5", the other one's 5'10", so I like him better. When Kyler has also won a Rookie of the Year, he's been a Pro Bowler twice. He's been a good quarterback in the NFL. But because he's smaller, we're going to take Justin Herbert. It truly is fascinating because I'm not a Justin Herbert hater at all. Justin Herbert has been someone that I rooted for out when he came out of Oregon because I knew he was going to be a good quarterback. You know, my guy in the chat, Aaron, debatable about intangibles. You just described tangibles there. Okay. Kyler Murray over the last 2 seasons has been a much more mature quarterback. That is not debatable. You can argue if he's been as mature as Justin Herbert, and sure, give the nod to Herbert. But Kyler, especially last season, has really turned a new leaf on maturity. That is just something we have to be fair about. We can't just push Kyler to the side because we don't like the fact that he was a selfish player for the first couple years of the season. I don't care when the light comes on, but I just care that the light came on. So all I'll say is it's just interesting to see how we judge these guys because one is much shorter than the other. And Herbert, being someone whose playoff appearance was just as embarrassing as Kyler Murray's, and we just sweep it under the rug. 27-7 lead. And Trevor Lawrence comes back and beats them. It's crazy, man. My guy in the chat, we're debating maturity. Yeah. As the quarterback, I do care about maturity. You have to be a leader. And Kyler Murray, as of last season and the season before, has turned into a much more mature quarterback, especially as a person. Was he kind of bratty to start his career? Yeah. But it changed. And so overall, at the end of the day, that's what matters. I don't care when the light comes on, I care that it comes on. You can argue Herbert's a little bit more mature, but still. Kyler, Yeah, Aaron, Kyler continues to talk about his high school accomplishments. Dude, that was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Like, we do have to move on from that. I'm not trying to sit here and be like, I am super pro Kyler Murray. I am incredibly concerned about what he's going to do this season. But it's interesting to see how much harshly he's judged than Herbert, or really anyone. Jared Goff is a good quarterback, but it took an Avengers level team and a new team overall and a hot shot offensive coordinator to break him out of his shell. Yeah, he went to the Super Bowl with the Rams. Go ahead and check those statistics on his Super Bowl run with the Rams. He was awful. He was not a good quarterback. At the end of the day, it's just interesting to see how ESPN judges Kyler compared to Herbert. Because Kyler, you can make an argument, same statistics, same Rookie of the Year trophy, same amount of playoff wins, Pro Bowl appearances. Both guys have been to the Pro Bowl. And yet we like one better because they're just taller. It's just interesting to me. I'm not out on Kyler, and there is a chance, and I do believe that there is a world where he can help take this team to the playoffs. But I didn't expect him to be on this list. It's just interesting to see who continues to be on it when they don't have much of a case over Kyler.